KHOU 11 News at 10 starts now.
Now at 10, a vigil in honor of a teen who went missing around Valentine's Day, only to be found dead in the ship channel.
Plus, the eyes of the world are on Ukraine as fears mount of an all-out Russian invasion.
And live reports from the last weekend of Mardi Gras celebrations in Galveston. But we begin tonight with breaking news from Northwest Harris County, where deputies are on the scene of a violent home invasion. It happened around 8 o'clock tonight at a home on Franz near North Fry Road in the West Lake Forest area. Now, here's what we know. Deputies say 6 people were home when a masked gunman burst inside and ordered everyone to strip down.
Yeah, they say one of the men inside the home started to resist, was shot in the head and the wrist. He was taken by life flight to Memorial Hermann Hospital in stable condition. Deputies are questioning one person, but so far no one is in custody. We will bring you the very latest details as soon as they come in. Now to a memorial in honor of 17-year-old Antonio Saldivar.
He's been missing for 2 weeks before, or he was missing rather for 2 weeks before his body was found by dive teams this week. Tonight, friends and family held a vigil in his memory. Tim Wetzel joins us live with more. Tim.
Rega, the family hosted the vigil right here on the banks of this water. The teen's body was found floating just across the way over there. They are desperate to find out what happened to him and if someone is responsible.
And lead us not into temptation.
Tonight, a candlelight vigil for Antonio Saldivar. Friends and family gathered to pray for him and to pray for answers.
All of our questions have not been answered.
Saldivar told his family he was going to a friend's house to bring her a Valentine's Day gift. He never came home. His wrecked car was found smashed into a concrete beam. His shoes were still inside. But the 17-year-old was gone. After frantically searching for days, relatives got the news they feared most. His body was found floating in the Houston Ship Channel.
Over there, like underneath the Harrisburg sign, and the vehicle was coming this way.
Jerry Ramos was his friend. She helped organize the vigil near the crash site. So do you guys think someone did something to him?
Honestly, deep down in my heart, yeah. I honestly do. Because, he had no enemies or anything like that.
We know that he was not alone. And we know he didn't do this to himself. There's no way he could have done this to himself.
Family members believe someone out there knows what happened to Antonio, and they're urging them to come forward.
If you knew Antonio like I knew Antonio as his sister, you would want to say something because he didn't have to go through that.
After lighting candles and saying prayers, family members released balloons.
Everybody ready to let your balloons go here?
They chose purple balloons because purple was his favorite color.
You got your Antonio. We're going to find out. The truth will come out. They're going to pay. Trust me, they're going to pay.
And Saldivar's family still doesn't know exactly how he died because the medical examiner's office is still working on the autopsy. We're live here in Southeast Houston. Tim Wetzel, KHOU 11 News.
Police are trying to sort out the details of a deadly shooting in Southeast Houston. Several people were inside a car at Gotham and Astoria when gunfire erupted inside that car. When the shooting stopped, the front passenger was dead. Those in the back fled, but the driver stayed and waited for police.
I just walked down the street going, what's going on? And when I got here, I could kind of see a body hanging outside of a car.
There were multiple occupants sitting in the gray Impala, and apparently, either accidentally or for reasons unknown, one of the passengers in the back seat shot the front right passenger.
No information yet on the victim. The suspects are still at large.
The search is on for a gunman who sparked a wild shootout with police during a party filled with teenagers. Amazingly, no one was hurt. It happened last night at the Palms Banquet Hall on FM 1092 in Stafford. Fort Bend County deputies say the party was organized on Twitter. They say someone walked in and started shooting. An off-duty Missouri City police officer working security for the event returned fire. Deputies say no one was hurt but kept dozens of teenagers at the scene for several hours trying to figure out who the shooter is.
2 people are in the hospital after separate incidences of getting hit by cars overnight. The first happened around midnight in Southeast Houston at the Stop and Stay Club on Park Place and Poplar. Now, police are searching for a driver who backed over a woman in the parking lot and then took off. She was taken to the hospital with a broken leg. Investigators don't yet know if it was intentional or an accident.
Then near Midtown around 2 o'clock this morning, a woman hit a man as he ran across 2am and Brazos. We're told the man smashed into her windshield and was taken to the hospital in serious condition. The driver will not face any charges. Officers suspect the man was intoxicated.
Mardi Gras celebrations are in full swing tonight.
Yeah, it was all about the parades today, but tonight the party is really heating up.
Certainly is. Jacqueline Crea joins us live from Galveston with the latest out there. Hey, Jacqueline.
Hey guys, you know, I've never been to the Mardi Gras celebration in New Orleans, but I feel like this is pretty close. Everybody is having a blast, throwing beads and celebrating a long-time tradition in Galveston. The party started early and lasted through the night, and people were dressed in perfect Mardi Gras fashion. Lots of drinking, eating, dancing, and live music. And of course, building your own bead collection is the goal of the day, whether it's your first time or you do this every year.
Just wander about, look around, yell beads, beads!
Well, I haven't been to one, I've never been to one, and this is my first time, so it's just a really cool experience of getting beads and stuff.
Now, of course, the party will continue on tonight. A DJ set will begin at 11 p.m. and we'll check in with you later on in the show and tell you just exactly how people get those beads. Reporting live in Galveston, Jacqueline Crea, KHOU 11 News.
All right, thanks, Jacqueline. I know how she emphasized a lot of drinking going on out there,
Yes.
but hey, that's just part of the fun.
And she's getting an education about how to get those beads. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mario, everything's looking good weather-wise.
Yeah, you know, it couldn't have been a better night, really, for that big parade, the Grand Momas Parade there in Galveston. But here in Houston, looks like the timing was just right down there. But our timing for the afternoon tomorrow is one of thunder showers. The rain's already starting to move in. Remember that big storm in California that's been kind of moving in with flooding downpours? Well, it's heading towards the Lone Star State. And tonight, we are lucky, both Galveston and also Reliant Park. No showers tonight for all the festivities. There is the Midway, 67 degrees. What a beautiful night. Very mild. Temperatures won't go anywhere. In fact, we're going to stay in the 60s after setting an almost record today at 83. But by the afternoon, we could start to see a few thunder showers, a spring-like mid to upper 70s through the afternoon. But we could see a threat of severe weather. When we come back, we'll talk about the possibilities of some bad storms for the areas north, maybe even closer to the Houston metro area. We'll go over the timeline when those storms are going to arrive coming up in a while.
All right.
Okay?
Thanks,
All right.
Mario.
Thank you.
Now to a developing story the whole world is watching. High tensions in Ukraine where leaders fear war after Russia sends thousands of troops to the country. Allison Harmelin has the story.
Pro-Russian demonstrators stormed an administration building in northeast Ukraine, then proudly flew the Russian flag. Many Ukrainians align themselves more with nearby Russia than their own country. The protesters showed they don't support the new Ukrainian government. This after Russia's President Vladimir Putin got the green light from his parliament Saturday to proceed with military intervention. Russian troops are already in control of parts of Crimea. The Russian government says they're protecting their interests in the region. In response, the Ukraine's acting prime minister put his armed forces on full combat alert and warned that Russian military intervention could lead to war.
Members of the UN Security Council gathered here for an emergency meeting to address the rapidly deteriorating situation in the Slavic nation of 46 million people.
Ukraine's UN ambassador asked the Security Council to take action.
This action by the Russian Federation constitutes an act of aggression against the state of Ukraine.
America's UN ambassador called for international support of the new Ukrainian government.
Intervention by the Russian military will be both a grave mistake and will have costs and consequences.
President Obama spoke over the phone with Vladimir Putin for 90 minutes Saturday afternoon. The president condemned the military action and urged Putin to pull back his troops.
Allison Harmelin, KHOU 11 News.
About 40% of Ukraine's population considers Russian to be their native language, which has some voicing their concerns the country could potentially end up getting separated into two different nations.
China is blaming this morning's terror attack on separatist militants. A group of men armed with knives attacked a train station in southwestern China, killing at least 28 people there. More than 100 others were wounded. All of the attackers were dressed in black. 5 were shot and killed by police, but several others got away. China's president tonight ordered a full-scale manhunt to find those responsible.
The NFL Network has fired former football star Darren Sharper. The network terminated his contract with the sports analyst after recent rape charges in Los Angeles. He's also wanted in New Orleans in connection with the alleged rapes of 2 women there. Authorities in Nevada, Arizona, and Florida are also looking into similar claims against him. His attorneys have denied all of the accusations.
A busy interstate in Denver, Colorado was closed for about 5 hours after a multi-car pileup today. One person died after a series of wrecks involving more than 100 vehicles on Interstate 25. At least 30 people had to be hospitalized, and traffic was backed up for more than a mile. Now, the crash happened as a heavy band of snow was moving through the area.
And more than 1,000 homes in the hillside neighborhoods of Los Angeles are under a mandatory evacuation due to potential mudslides. This is the second evacuation order in 2 months. They had to leave in January during a wildfire and again during yesterday's storm. Some areas have gotten up to 9 inches of much-needed rain in the past 48 hours, but it is still not enough to put a dent in one of the worst droughts in California's history.
Coming up, President Obama is planning a visit to Houston, but why you probably won't see him unless you're really, really rich.
Plus, 400 cooking teams competing for the honor of the world's best barbecue. Tonight, we have the winner.
And the Manville girls basketball team plays for the school's first ever state championship. See how they're doing.
You know that music. The rodeo is in full swing, and tonight the ballots are in. The winner of the World Championship Barbecue Contest is Barbecue Commanders 3. More than 400 teams spent the past 3 days cooking up a storm for thousands of rodeo goers. And the rodeo also gave out awards for most colorful, most unique pit, team skit, and even recycling. Who knew?
Looks good, that's all I know. But before tonight's events, the big rodeo parade took over downtown.
Yeah, it's a 76-year tradition. Our Sherry Williams was there.
The Houston Rodeo Parade always gets the crowd going.
Awesome. Having a great time.
This little guy couldn't get close enough to the action. And the weather was great.
Now we have a little breeze. It's perfect. Way to kick off the rodeo.
Kids in wagons watched wagons go by. Future cowboys and cowgirls dressed the part. At the very least, they grabbed their favorite hat. This parade route marks the end of week-long trail rides that covered hundreds of miles.
You know, organizers say before there was a rodeo, there were trail rides. And this parade is a huge part of showing off those trail rides.
The Grand Marshal was a real-life hero, Medal of Honor recipient, Army Staff Sergeant Ty M. Carter.
There was a firefight in Afghanistan where my unit of 54 Americans were outnumbered over 300 to 1.
A man who received the nation's highest military honor for saving lives was honored to be chosen to lead our parade today. From heroes to high steppers. And where else can you see a mayor on a horse?
I grew up here. I grew up riding horses. Parades are always better on a horse.
By all accounts, this year's parade was another hit.
It was awesome. It has many colors, and also, it's awesome.
Thank you. Time for the trail riders to head on back home. Time for the rodeo to get started. Send in the clowns. Sherry Williams, KHOU 11 News.
That little boy said it best. It's awesome. Okay, we have dozens of pictures from today's parade at KHOU.com. Just click on the slideshow on the homepage. You can also send us your picture on Twitter using the hashtag KHOU Rodeo.
Thousands participated in the 27th annual ConocoPhillips Rodeo Run. This morning's event raised $400,000 for rodeo scholarships. 13,000 runners and walkers took part in the 10K and 5K events downtown.
Yeah, and whether you were running or maybe just enjoying the barbecue, we had great weather for the rodeo today.
Yeah, we definitely did. Hey, Mario, what can people expect tomorrow?
Well, we have to pay the price for this warm weather. In fact, this warm, balmy weather could give rise to some thunder showers tomorrow. We've got some very buoyant atmosphere in place right now, and we do see a lot of clouds rolling back in across the Houston area tonight. So it could be a misty night by morning. Could see a little bit of precipitation in the form of maybe light rainfall develop around the Houston area. But overall, it's these thunderstorms that we're really concerned about late tomorrow afternoon and into the early evening. A few of these could become severe towards that part of the day. And right now, we're looking at 70-degree temperatures. The humidity is at 66%. Humidity is up. Pressure is falling. You can see those are the two necessary factors there to at least get some kind of precipitation here in the area. And it looks like we're working our way in that direction. Also, it's kind of breezy. Winds are out of the south in response to this upper level storm system that's moving in out of the west. It's the same storm system that soaked California with 3 to 10 inches of rainfall, and more is expected. While all that is happening, a cold air mass is sliding south into the Midwest. Temperatures are about 5 to 10 below across the upper Midwest. That cold air will spill into Houston once this Pacific storm system in California moves through and generates some showers tomorrow. Then that system will help draw some cold air down towards Houston. And yes, again, for an extended period of time, we're looking at 30-degree nights and 50-degree days. That could start as early as Monday afternoon, last right through the middle part of the week, and then slowly but surely we'll ramp up our temperatures beginning towards the start of the weekend. Hopefully next weekend will be a little nicer for all the events happening here in Houston in terms of the rodeo. We'll be looking at sunshine and near 70 to 74-degree temperatures by the start of the weekend. But for now, as you saw, the clouds encroaching across all of Houston. Along with that could be a few sprinkles overnight, some misty weather. But look out, the other shoe drops towards the afternoon. That's an advancing trough of low pressure or frontal boundary around the Brazos River Valley at 4 o'clock. And then by 8 o'clock, that storm system pounces on Houston. This is a squall line. A few of these severe cells could pop up north and northeast of the city. Those storms driving toward the Sabine River Pass towards the afternoon. As far as the weather where you live, it's going to be misty tonight. Numbers really staying in the 60s across the area. It's tomorrow afternoon we're concerned about. And the reason you need to tune in to Channel 11 or maybe our Facebook page and even our KHEU.com page. And if you don't have it, also our weathercaster. All of this information will keep you updated on the severe weather we are expecting here in Houston. And it's just the beginning. Springtime is usually our severe weather season, and that's just around the corner. Look at all that rainy weather Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It's going to be a real blustery kind of day with showers expected and kind of messy. You're going to need jackets for several days.
Yeah, a little bit of everything this week. Okay, thanks, Mario.
Thank you. You know, the Texas primary is only 3 days away, and the state's senior senator is fighting to keep his seat in Congress. John Cornyn campaigned at the Sosa Community Center in Northwest Houston. He's facing Tea Party-backed Representative Steve Stockman for the Republican nomination. Cornyn had been hoping for an endorsement from Tea Party favorite Ted Cruz, but Cruz said this week he wasn't endorsing either candidate.
Texas Attorney General and gubernatorial candidate Greg Abbott is now denouncing some comments made by controversial rock musician Ted Nugent. Abbott was speaking at a restaurant in downtown Beaumont. He recently came under fire for campaigning with Nugent after the former rocker called President Obama a subhuman mongrel. Well, the comments sparked outrage, and some accused Nugent of being a racist.
I think his comments are offensive, and I certainly don't agree with or support any of the comments that he's made in the past. I think that's very inappropriate because I knew nothing about those comments beforehand. I knew him as an ardent supporter of the Second Amendment, but I certainly didn't know about any of those derogatory comments he made, and I certainly distanced myself from them.
Abbott faces 3 other GOP challengers in Tuesday's primary election.
President Barack Obama will travel to Houston in April to raise money for Democratic candidates in the House and Senate. That's according to an invitation to the event sent to the Associated Press. Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid of Nevada and House Democratic Leader Nancy Pelosi of California are scheduled to attend. Tickets start at more than $16,000 a person and go up to nearly $65,000 for a couple.
Coming up, 3 agencies come together for the first time. What they had to say to the Chinese American community after the murders of a Cyprus family.
And why comedian George Lopez is still laughing even after finding himself behind bars.
Singer Robin Thicke is making it very clear that he is not ready to give up on his marriage to actress Paula Patton. Thicke told a TMZ reporter Thursday that he is trying to get her back. He also denied that his controversial performance with Miley Cyrus at the Video Music Awards had anything to do with the split. Well, TMZ reported that after Patton called him to tell him their marriage was over, he flew straight to Canada where she was filming to try to get her to change her mind, but so far she has not.
Good luck with that. A Canadian casino says comic George Lopez was allowed to perform last night as scheduled after getting arrested Thursday night for public intoxication. Police say Lopez passed out at the Caesars Windsor Casino in Ontario. No charges were filed. Lopez took the incident in stride, though. In fact, the comedian opened the show saying, "I just did in Windsor what Justin Bieber does in America." Ouch.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Congratulations to singers Gwen Stefani and Gavin Rossdale. The couple welcomed their third child on Friday. It's a baby boy they named Apollo Bowie Flynn Rossdale. They're already proud parents of 7-year-old Kingston and 5-year-old Zuma. Stefani, who sings for the band No Doubt, is 44, and Rossdale, who sings for the band Bush, is 38.
The Rockets were back home tonight, looking to get back on the right track.
And high school teams across the area were vying for spots in the state tournament. Daniel is next with the highlights.
Hello, everybody. I'm Daniel Gotero. After a 5-game road trip, the Rockets were in need of some home cooking, and the Detroit Pistons were on the menu. The first half was all Houston, and it was a dunk fest. Pistons decided they wouldn't play any defense tonight. Dwight Howard with a couple of huge slams in the first quarter. He had 17 on the night. The lead got to as much as 25 when Howard found Terrence Jones with this awesome alley-oop. Showtime over at Toyota Center. Jones had 22 to lead the team. Pistons woke up in the second, but the deficit just too much to overcome. Rockets with a nice bounce-back win off of that loss on Wednesday night, 118 to 110. Girls basketball, the Manville Lady Mavericks looking for their school's first ever championship, but it wouldn't be easy. They faced a Duncanville team who came in winners of 105 straight games. Manville didn't knock down their first field goal until the second quarter, and it was Janae Jones who did just that. Second half, it was Brianna Turner. She went to work. 2 quick buckets for the senior helped tie the game. Right now, it's in the fourth quarter. Manville trails 49-42 with about 4 minutes left. We'll update you later in the show. It was regional final weekend for the boys. 4 teams with a chance to earn a trip to the state semifinals in Austin next week. We start with North Shore and Bush. Great play here right before the half. Jalen Hart gets the ball off a deflection, heaves it towards the basket, and it goes in. But he didn't beat the buzzer in time, so the basket doesn't count. He should have gotten the bucket anyway for trying. What an effort. Second half, Broncos go out in front. Brendan Ganaway dishes it to Donald Moore, who gives Bush a 53-51 lead, but North Shore made the plays down the stretch. Here's Hart again driving the lane, gets the bucket to go and the foul. Mustangs earn the right to celebrate. They're headed to Austin with a 60-58 win.
I really believe this team is as good as any team in the state of Texas. We've been saying that all year long, but I told the kids they have to prove it. Right now we're 33-3, not by accident. We've proven that we can play with any and everybody, so we're expecting to go win it.
Me and my teammates been wanting this since we was in middle school, so it's a dream come true.
That's an awesome feeling. Up in Huntsville, Yates and Navasota going at it. Melvin Swift for the Lions with the throwdown early. Yates with the 1-point lead after one. More from the pride of the third ward. Swift misses the jam, dishes it back out to J.C. Washington, who delivers with a two-handed flush. What else is new? Yates is also going to state. They win this one 103-86. Elsewhere, Fort Bend Marshall fell short of a trip to state, losing to Beaumont Central 67-57, and Allen knocks off Atascocita 65-58. Great season for each of those teams. In the college ranks, second to last weekend of conference play, number 24 Texas up in Oklahoma, and the Sooners were ready for Bevo and the gang. Isaiah Cousins led the way for Oklahoma, scoring 24 points on the afternoon. Cameron Ridley had a nice game for Texas with 19, but it wasn't enough. Sooners win it 77-65. Tough loss for the Horns as they continue to fight for positioning there in the Big 12. In College Station, another great play coming up. Aggies looking to continue their recent roll, hosting Ole Miss. That's Jordan Green with the layup. Career high 16 for him, and this is the play I'm talking about. Look at this move. Alex Caruso behind the back and then throws it down with authority. Nice play for Alex. Awesome slam. Aggies get back to 500 in conference, winning 71-60. On the local scoreboard, Houston takes down Temple 89-79. Conference USA play. Tough season for the Owls continues. Rice falls 65-41 to Middle Tennessee State, and Texas Southern tops Alabama State 86-66. That's it for now. More sports in the next half hour, including highlights from the College Classic at Minute Maid Park, and we check in with Texas A&M as they find out what life without Johnny Manziel is like. They kick off spring practice today.
rough. Okay, all right.
Who knows, but probably.
Thanks, Daniel.
Coming up in the next half hour of KHOU 11 News at 10, a new mission for law enforcement to reach the Chinese community in the wake of a horrific crime against a local family.
And a familiar face is named King Bacchus in New Orleans. What British actor Hugh Laurie, also known as Dr. House, had to say about his first Mardi Gras.
Live, KHOU 11 News at 10 Extra starts now.
News of the murder of a family of 4 in the Cypress area has rattled Houston's Chinese community.
It's why law enforcement came together today to reassure them they are safe. But the Houston Police Department, Harris County Sheriff's Office, and professors from the University of Houston downtown also had another important message for the community. During a town hall meeting, they urged members to keep their eyes and ears open for any information that could help them solve this case. Mayao Soon and his wife and 2 young sons were found shot to death in their home on January 30th. The case is baffling since it's unclear what the motive may have been. Now, all 4 were shot execution style. Today, law enforcement made it clear to the community, traditionally known for keeping to themselves, the importance of speaking up.
You have to get involved. You cannot remain isolated in your community or within your street. You got to know who your neighbors are.
Authorities say they are working overtime to solve the case. Officials are now offering a $70,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of the suspect or suspects responsible.
Thousands are partying pretty hard tonight in Galveston for the second weekend of Mardi Gras. People from as far away as Las Vegas came to the Gulf Coast for beads and a good time. Our Jacqueline Crea joins us live from the Strand with more out there. Hey, Jackie.
Hey, Rucks. Well, let me tell you, everybody is having a great time out here. Mardi Gras is a long-time celebration in Galveston. This time, this is the 103rd, and everybody is doing their part and participating in the tradition that comes before the beginning of Lent. Thousands of people filled the streets on the Strand in Galveston for weekend 2 of the Mardi Gras celebration, lasting all day.
Just wander about, look around, yell beads, beads!
And night. Over here, Mardi Gras! People from different places come to celebrate.
New Caney. I'm from Conroe.
From Houston.
We're from Las Vegas and we love it here.
There are beads everywhere you look.
I'll just stand up there and wave at them.
How you get them, you decide.
I show my man boobies. I like to party.
There's plenty of food and booze and live music. But it's not just for adults. The party is for families and children, too.
We've been drinking water and coffee and having a good time.
I haven't been to one, and I've never been to one, and this is my first time, so it's just a really cool experience of getting beads and stuff.
And then came the grand finale, the Knights of Momus Grand Night Parade. And the party continues with more live music and fun. The Mardi Gras celebration continues through March 4th, so if you have not had a chance to make it out, please do so. Reporting live in Galveston tonight, Jacqueline Crea, KHOU 11 News.
Police say the man who shot a woman's husband in North Houston overnight was a friend of the family. It happened in the 700 block of East Houston Road around 11 p.m. Witnesses say the friend told the husband he could take better care of his wife, at which point the husband grabbed the man's arm and demanded he leave the property. But the friend did leave, but only after shooting the husband in the stomach. The husband is expected to survive. Police are looking for the friend.
Guests of the Marriott Courtyard Hotel in downtown Houston were awakened by the sound of a fire alarm this morning. It happened about 4:30. Someone reported smoke on the 8th and 9th floors. Everyone was evacuated, but when firefighters got there, they didn't find a fire, only agitated guests.
We went to the nearest exit, and then everybody was just standing there, and I called the reception. They said it was a false alarm, and everybody went back to the room, and the alarm kept going off.
Some guests say they couldn't get back to sleep, so they just got up.
The Justice Department is investigating the death of a Jasper man. The body of Alfred Wright